everyone! Today we're talking about a dangerous food that has actually been outlawed in multiple countries because of how bad it is for you. And it's a particularly bad food for your heart and your arteries. What we're talking about is trans fat. Trans fat can be found in small quantities in some animal products, but the majority of trans fats are actually human-made. They're made by taking vegetable oils like corn oil or soybean oil and pumping hydrogen into them. This makes them thicker and eventually harden, so they are solid at room temperature. And unfortunately, food manufacturers have found ways to get around the laws and basically hide trans fats in their foods. Now, you might be wondering why this is. Like, why are companies using trans fats when they know how terrible they are for us? Well, trans fats actually extend the shelf life of foods. So adding trans fats to things like cookies and cakes and other snack items, it makes them last longer, which is obviously appealing to companies trying to sell products to make millions of dollars. And it's not just snack food manufacturers who are using trans fats. Some restaurants also use trans fats in their deep fryers because the oil does not need to be changed as frequently. Again, allowing the business to save money by not using as much oil. Watch out at places like Outback, Cheesecake Factory, Five Guys. They have all been criticized for frying their foods in trans fats. As far as the technical information behind why trans fats are so bad, basically trans fats have the same calories as other fats, but they are the worst type of fat for our cholesterol. When looking at cholesterol levels, there's the good cholesterol and the bad cholesterol, and trans fats do the opposite of what we need them to do. They lower our good cholesterol and they raise our bad cholesterol levels. This means more danger to your arteries. These fat molecules can stick to your artery walls, they can create narrowings and blockages, and that all puts you at a much higher risk for heart attacks and strokes and high blood pressure and a whole host of other dangerous conditions. So there is nothing good about trans fats when it comes to our body and our health. Now, I thought it might be helpful to give you some specific foods that contain this dangerous fat. Some things you may actually consume kind of regularly, so it might shock you a little. The first is powdered coffee-mate coffee creamer. That contains hydrogenated oil in the ingredients list. Another one is Pillsbury Crescent rolls. They also list hydrogenated oil on their ingredients, as does Pillsbury canned frosting. When looking at Duncan Hines products, their canned frosting lists hydrogenated oil as an ingredient, and they also list vegetable shortening as an ingredient, which typically contains trans fat, even though they have 0 milligrams of trans fat listed on their nutrition facts. Other products, like Hostess products, I saw those Casbars and Zingers, they both list hydrogenated palm kernel oil in their ingredients list. Tasty Cake brand is another that uses hydrogenated oils, listed on many of their products, including some customer favorites like butterscotch crimpets or those peanut butter candy cakes. Finally, I would check the label of your peanut butters. All the major brands like Skippy, Jif, Peter Pan, they all list hydrogenated oils in their ingredients. Now, while it may not show on the nutrition facts next to the little part that says trans fats, it's actually still in there. And you might be wondering, how can this be? Well, the FDA allows companies to actually use rounding on their nutrition facts labels. So if a food or a serving of a food contains 0.4 milligrams of trans fat, the company can legally round down to 0. Isn't that so crazy? And you know, it may not seem like a big deal. Oh, 0.4 is not that much, but remember, that's per serving size. And how many times do we eat more than one serving of a snack? More times than not, for me anyways. So keep that in mind when looking at labels. Take a look at the ingredients. Look for partially hydrogenated oils. And if it says fully hydrogenated, that means that they continued to pump hydrogen into that oil past the thicker liquid and turned it into a solid at room temperature. While it doesn't technically contain any trans fats anymore, it still went through that same process and it is in no way healthy for you. So I would still stay clear and far away from it if I were you. That's all I have for you on trans fats today. Be careful, read those nutrition labels, take care of your health and your body. Until next time, everyone, I will see you soon. Be healthy.